All right, so we want to talk a little bit about wrist and shoulder issues during planks and push-ups, and a lot of this really can apply to both because the start of your push-up is a plank. Go figure. So we're going to look at some things, particularly if your wrists feel weird or ouchy. And then we're also going to look at like what shoulders like to do in push-ups that tell you that maybe you need to take a slightly different approach. A lot of the time it means working on stability, mobility outside of the push-up, because really the answer when something feels ouchy is not to just keep hammering away at the joint. It's usually to go address that issue somewhere else and then come back and make it better. And in the meantime, while you work on your actual push-up, it just means pick a different level. So if doing it full on your toes goes a little awry, pick the one that you can do that feels challenging, but with good form. So with that in mind, we're using Meg because her shoulders are going to do some of the things that I want to point out that push-ups do, because even when we're trainers, we're normal human bodies, which means bodies do weird things. It's just normal. So can you do, thank you. So can you just do, I'm not gonna make her do 100 because that's cruel, but can you just do one full push-up, on your toes, and just be yourself and just do your thing. Great. And go one more time. Cool. And then rest. Okay, so what I noticed is, and I'm not going to make her keep going, is when she went down, her shoulders do this really cute thing where they roll a little bit forward in her ears as she bends her elbows. Yep, and just hang there if that feels okay for a second. So you can see this all come forward, and then when she comes up, they correct beautifully, and you can rest for just a moment. So when the shoulders do that cute thing where as you bend your elbows and they tip forward, there's a few things that can be causing that, and I mean literally, the book part talks about this ad nauseum, but just real quick, if your shoulder does this thing, sometimes it's actually you need more shoulder stability, and sometimes you need more upper back mobility. And then the third thing is just simply strength. So there's something happening at the bottom where all the muscles can't quite kick on as quickly as we'd like them to stabilize that humeral head, that's your upper arm bone, in its socket. So with that in mind, this is where I might have her do the backpack push-up, which we show you throughout the program, the tutorial, or I might have her just come and do it on the bench. So just do one incline push-up here, and I bet, just go for it, that her shoulders look beautiful. So this is just an example of she could work it here, slowly work her incline down until she's doing it on the ground, and her shoulders stay in this position the entire time. That's plenty. You're good. All right, awesome. So then another thing is wrists. So for a lot of us, and again, I have tons of materials on this in the book for you, but if you, can you just reach your hands out and pull them like that? Yeah, so she's got pretty good wrist mobility, but for a lot of us when we do this, can you show what not so good wrist mobility would look like? There. So if you put your hands up and your wrists look more like this and you can relax, again, that might be a good time to go with the book, do some of the wrist mobility exercises, but also know that that might be one of the reasons why your wrists feel ouchy when you're in a plank or a push-up position. So again, sometimes taking it to a regression, like an incline or a wall push-up will help, or there's sometimes other ways that you can do the wrist thing. So if you have access to a barbell or a ballet bar, or even the foot bar, if you're a Pilates teacher, you can have a neutral wrist when you do your incline push-up, or you've got a few options. So the first one is, can we show the dumbbell one? So you can have your hands on the dumbbells. By the way, you don't have to be full blown on your toes. I'm just going to redo the knees one because it's the end of the day. So she's going to have her toes on the ground. She's got her neutral grip on her wrist. Just do one. Coming down, pushing up. So that can sometimes be much kinder. She could also do it on her fists. Nice way to build hand strength. You might not love it though. We'll see. Same deal, like a dumbbell, but brass knuckles. Cool, relax. The last thing that you can do is if you have a mat, this is not the perfect mat, but it'll work well enough. You can actually reduce your wrist extension by just using the mat itself. So I think, let's see, if we actually have you come onto the mat, then we can roll up the front edge of it. And if we just fold it over, like so, she can put the heels of her hands on, her fingers are on the ground. You can see now there's a little, and you can, that looks great. She's now, she needs less wrist extension to do the exact same exercise. Just do the push-up. Great. And sometimes that will also help with wrist discomfort or pain. Again, if you have ongoing pain, good to talk to a medical professional. We're not doctors. We're not diagnosing or treating you or fixing any joint issues. So yeah, that is your push-up tutorial.